Welcome to my daily review. Today is Wednesday, May 8th, and you're looking at a daily chart of the Nasdaq, which is acting well. I know a lot of people are tired. It's going sideways, it's chopping. Well, you're getting a little spoiled here. It had a move from 15,222 to 16,300 or more. And now the last couple days it's pulled back, but it's still up for the week. Today it was down 30 points, 0.18% on lighter volume. And for me, the most important aspect of the NASDAQ for me, that's encouraging for me, that is telling me that I should be more aggressive in the market, is that the low of the day for 4 consecutive days here, the low of the day is above the 21. And you can see the 10 and the 21 are ready to trade right through the slower moving 50 here. So this is starting to look bullish. And yes, we could start a power trend as soon as next week, as long as this low of the day stays above the 21. And what we don't want to see is a big sell-off and have it slice through that area. But if it just trades sideways, this is constructive action. And I don't really care about the volume. Yeah, it was lower today, but still it was down, right? If your stock goes lower on lower volume, you still have losses. I just want to point out the NASDAQ is up for the week, 146 points, nearly 1%. So yeah, the last couple of days it's pulled back, but it looks fine. And like I said, just keep it simple. Look at this magenta line, and if the low is above it, we're gold. Just keep it simple. Not every stock is going to go up, but if we have the tailwinds from the index, and I feel more confident and more aggressive in the market. Anyway, I want to take a look at some stocks today. Oh, by the way, I got to get all of this good housekeeping stuff in. Yeah, the Nasdaq was down 30 or 0.18%, closed at 16,303 on 11% below its 50-day average volume, which is this red line here. So you got all that. Anyway, it had that big move, 32% run, a 9% garden variety pullback, and now we're trading higher. We've had a couple of, essential follow-through days in here where the NASDAQ traded, 2% higher. So, yeah, April 26, 2%, May 2, 1.5%. Those are follow-through days. Last Friday, after the jobs report, 2% move. This looks fantastic. I think it looks like it's very constructive. I'm not saying we're going to rock and roll and rip to new highs, but it looks good, and we just might trade to new highs. Apple's acting a lot better. Got some news today from China that things are going better. You could see the 10 and the 21 have traded through the 50, and that's what I want to see with the NASDAQ here. The RS line trading through the moving averages. So Apple looks a heck of a lot better. It's got a lot of work to do still, but it's looking a lot better than it did a few weeks ago when it was trading below all of its moving averages. Microsoft went red to green today. People are excited about it, but it's still below the 50, and it's traded below the 50 for a while. It's been in this consolidation period, since it made that 420 high. It did trade up to 430, but it's just in this consolidation phase. Needs to build the right side of this base and get above the 50 for me to get interested in it. Google looks much better. Had that nice response to earnings, pulled back to the 10, found support. Today just had a constructive inside day, which is what you want, when your stock sells off and the NASDAQ's down, just, there aren't heavy sellers here, just some profit takers, and then a pullback in light volume is what you want to see, especially after the move that it's made. Amazon looks great to me, just consolidating in this base here. It's been about a month, about a 4-week little base, and couple more sessions, pull back to the 10 here. That would be nice to find support and bounce higher. I think that one has 200 in its sights. I'm not predicting. I'm just saying, that wouldn't surprise me. Meta, this is a gift. The sell-off on the CapEx spending, they're all spending a lot of money. Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, they have a lot of money to spend and build out AI. Meta spending a lot more than the others, but, and NVIDIA is going to be the benefactor of a lot of this spending. But there was a gift there at 414.50. If you didn't take it, oh well, I didn't, but I kind of knew it was a gift there. And I just didn't buy it. I didn't feel like buying it, but it's going up on lighter volume, so your gains of $50 don't count, right? $60 actually. Oh well, I'm gonna get off it. Um, Tesla below the 200. People got excited about the move following earnings. It was a nice 37% move, but now it's sold back off to its 50, and it's in no man's land between the 200 and 50. No way I would touch that thing. But if you own it, it's been a great company, a great stock, but it's not my style, that's all. NVIDIA had a nice quiet inside day today, much like Google, sells off on light volume. And you can see this inside day here, real quiet there with the bar inside high and low. The low above yesterday's low and the high below yesterday's high. Looks good to me. That thing looks set up to trade higher. A couple other semiconductor names I want to look at. Cirrus is up on an earnings gap higher, 12%. That's a move that shall not be ignored, Dan. You can see it's trying to break out of this stage one base here. Actually, come on, Marty. It broke out of its stage one base with powerful move. So yeah, you can see the RS line heading due north and the earnings line heading up. So that's what we like to see. But that RS line trading through its moving averages, to me, that's an actionable move there. Anyway, I'm going to move on because ALAB, not as much luck here. I've got to go to the 60-minute chart. I talked about this often, where it was finding support. The IPO it kept finding support at the 66 level. Here. Now it traded below one day, but at 66, and then today, boom, right here, right at 66. It keeps finding support there. So that to me is a positive. There was that one day there where it sold off. I think it was April 19th. It sold off down to $60.55 there. Yeah. And but for the most part, 66 has been an area of support. And it found support there today as well. Now it's actually got a 50-day moving average. So anyway, I'm going to move on to Qualcomm. It's a chart that I like. Double bottom base pattern with the breakout. Now trading sideways, waiting for the moving averages to catch up. I would like to see it pull back here to 177, 176. I think that would be actionable. So I'm looking for that in the next couple of sessions from Qualcomm. That looks very good to me. All right, the next group I want to get to is the data storage group, because this group is turning around. The computer data storage group is a cyclical business, and when it turns around, it's not going to do it for a month or 2 months or a quarter. This is going to do it for many quarters and even years. This earnings cycle, you can see the earnings down, and now they're ticking up, and the stocks are ticking up with it. This is Micron, which is one of the top stocks in the group, but I'm going to go through a few others here that I like and that have been doing well. This is NetApp NetApp, and I have this on my ready list. You can see the RS line trading through its moving averages. It's got this double bottom base pattern. It's up, I don't know, 2% today. I like this one a lot because it's, in a group that's heading north. You can see the earnings now starting to head north. The stock is heading north, and a lot of these are looking quite the same. So I like the group action, not just lone wolves. Follow this green line here. This is a cyclical, goes up, it goes down, and now the cycle reverses, it goes up again, and the stock is trading higher. This is a Silicon Motion. It's an ADR Taiwan stock, but it's still within a cup with a handle, and that could show up on our ready list once again. I like the looks of that one. Pure Storage, this is one that I do have on our ready list. Just consolidating in a base, not expecting big things from it, but it has gotten supported. It's 50. They report earnings on the 21st, so that's coming up. Good leadership here. I'm expecting this the earnings line to start ticking higher. It's just been trading sideways, consolidating in a base. But once they deliver some earnings, I think they're going to be pretty good because the group has been delivering good earnings. And I'm going to have to show another stock. It's not in this is a computer networker, Arrested Networks, and this one had a nice earnings report. This is a networker, and it's kind of a lone wolf. There's not a lot of networking stocks that are really smoking right now. This one had a nice earnings report up to 291 today, just consolidating in a base, building the right side of that base. So Arista Network, just wanted to point that one out. You can see it's in there with Juniper and Cisco, and not a lot of high-powered stocks there. Oops, I forgot to show the earnings line for Arista Networks. That's what you want to see with your stock, is the earnings, accelerating and not declining. Decelerating earnings is a recipe for disaster for your stock. Several quarters in a row. Anyway, I've got to get to the software names. Datadog reported yesterday. I didn't cover this one yesterday. It had a real negative response. This is an expensive stock. There was nothing wrong with the earnings. You could see the accelerating sales growth, 25, 26, 27%. That's fine. Improving margins, 80, 81, 82. That's fantastic. And a 91% earnings growth. But, this thing's trading at more than, 10 times sales. It's got a 39 billion market cap, with, I don't know, 3 billion in sales. So it's just got to grow into its valuation. But it had a nice recovery today, and maybe it will fill that gap there, that at 122.13, which is, a $5 move. So I would expect that from Datadog. That was a pretty doggone good report from Datadog. ESTC, Elastic, just trading sideways here. It's going to have to, it has earnings on May 31st. I just got to point out, it's consolidating within a base, obviously. I think it made a low here. Now it's building the right side of the base, trading sideways, tight action here at the 10. You can see the 10 has rallied through the downtrending 50, but the 10 and the 21 are uptrending, and just a very intriguing stock here for me. It's just one that I'm watching. I don't own it, but it's showing the ability to make explosive moves, and that's why I watch it, because I like my stocks to go higher. NTNX, Nutanix Computer Software Group, another one that's in this double bottom base pattern. This one looks a lot like NetApp. It was up, 1.3% today, while the index was down. Not bad. It's been up 5 or 6 days in a row, and this one looks good to me. They report earnings on May 29th, and that's why I have it on my ready list. This is consolidated long enough. And look at the you see the earnings line heading due north, which I like. You can see the double bottom base pattern. That's 9 weeks of consolidating. So this one's in the incubator, ready to pop out. All right, I'm going to go to retail. A lot of people give me a hard time about retail because the consumer's dead, and the XRT, exchange traded fund has not been performing well. XRT, got to get to that one. Yeah, it's been selling off. It's below its 50, but there's still some names in retail that are doing well. There's always going to be a few names, but the consumer is slowing. This is Dutch Bros. They might be taking market share from Starbucks. Starbucks had a disaster quarter, and Dutch Bros had a good quarter. It was up nearly 12% today, with volume still well below its highs. If I go to the look at that earnings line, that's very nice, with the stock still wallowing around lows here, 12% off its 52-week highs. Dutch Bros looks a lot better. All they can do is report good earnings. TOST, this is a financial stock, but it's used in restaurants and retail, and it was up 13% today following its earnings report. And that's a nice breakout there for TOST. Earnings line up and then sideways, like to see a little more of the uptrend, but it's at new highs here. So we can't argue with an 18% move this week. So that looks pretty good to me. Technically, breakout from a cup with handle pattern. That's textbook stuff there. Paint by numbers, as I say. And then CAVA. A lot of people like CAVA. I don't know anything about CAVA. I don't go there. I was just an IPO. Technically, you could see, go to the weekly, you could see this cup shape right here, pull back and then rip higher, pull back again to a moving average, and trade higher. The earnings line is heading due north, which I do like. Yeah, I know a lot of people like this stock. I don't own it. I know a lot of people who do and really like it, and it's done well for them. So congrats to the longs there. They report earnings May 28th. So I guess it's a Mediterranean style, health conscious type of restaurant. Anyway, I'm not going to go to Chipotle or Wingstop or Texas Roadhouse today. I'm going to move on from retail and go to what I think is super important right now, and that's the data center infrastructure plays. This is Sterling. Had this breakout yesterday following its earnings report, nearly 16% move with volume, followed up today 3%, made a new high. This looks absolutely gorgeous. After a breakout and a move higher, consolidated for what, 3 months there? And now I'm on the move again. You know that earnings line is heading north. There it is, consolidation, the move higher, consolidation for 8 weeks. That looks fantastic. And a lot of these data center plays or energy plays, which is, all of the CEOs were involved with the artificial intelligence build out, say we're going to need a ton of energy, like 30% more energy. And that's where these utilities and these, heavy construction plays, electrical power comes in. And this is Quanta Services up 3.3% this week. They reported earnings, I forget when, my gosh, I think it was last week, pulled back to its 50 and now recovered. That one looks fine. There's just a lot of them in this group that I like. I like all these stocks. There's not one that I don't like. This is Eaton, made a new high today of 333.13. What's not to like about new highs? Just looks like a consolidation pattern from that 331 on April 5th. So it's been about a month, 5 weeks maybe. VRT, this is a data center cooling. Man, this one looks like it's got a 100 written all over it, right? Up 3% today. But it was on low volume, so it doesn't count, right? I said I wasn't going to do that anymore. Anyway, you can see the earnings line heading north. And Vertiv Holdings, just a powerful, powerful stock. VST, another one of these electrical power stocks, utility play. They reported earnings and traded up 9%. You could call this a base. People are saying, oh, there's no base here. It's just going off of nothing. No, I would call this a base from 75, pull back to 64, formed a base here, pull back one day. That's your handle. And now ripping higher. You can't argue with it. I mean, when the stock's going higher like that, it does look a bit climactic though, because you can see for years and years and years, it just kind of traded sideways. And now it's like, whoa, AI's here. And you can see it's 5.2% above its 52-week high. So that stock is in fuego. DELL is one that I like. Data center play, just consolidating in a base, so not ripping like VST, but still actionable, and that's why I still have it on my ready list. Starting to get a little bit away from its moving averages, though. I like to buy them a little closer to the moving averages, and this one's 6.8% above the 21, so it's getting a little extended for me, to be actionable. MOD. This is in the HVAC. I just had to point this out because I love this chart. I love the pattern. It's shown breakout from a prior base, a nice rip higher, and now consolidating within a base. It traded tight within that base. I know some folks at MC Stock Charts bought this one, and the standard buy point paid by numbers is 106, but I don't know if you want to wait for that. It had a nice inside day today. This thing does look fantastic. And if it trades sideways or trades down to that 10, that would be an actionable area as well for me. Anyway, I'm just going to move on some random, take a random walk here. Oscar Health, this one, very easy to see this pattern here, kind of like Mod, right? Where it had this cup and this handle, this 4-day shakeout back to a moving average, and now just blasting higher. They reported earnings yesterday morning, I believe. Yeah. And it was up 4% today, tacked on another 5%. So Oscar Health looks fantastic. And there's your volume, folks who want volume. The institutional footprints are definitely taking a bite out of the Oscar the Grouch. Let me see here. Oh, the Woodstock, not the concert, Woodstock, Louisiana Pacific. There's not a lot of them in this group. If I go to the group, I think there's just four of them. Yeah, four, BCC with Boise Cascade, West Fraser, and UFP. And so this is one of the leading or only wood producers here for your, the construction, home building. This is Louisiana Pacific reported earnings, 21% move. Thank you very much. Blasting out of a base here, which has been in a base for a long time. You can see the earnings line headed down, and now it's going back up, and you can see the RS line trading through the moving averager. So that is all bullish. When you see that RS line trading through moving averages, then you know that stock's heading north, folks. So very nice. TMDX broke out last week. It tacked on some gains. Sorry about that. And now pulled back the last couple of sessions. No big deal, 6 cents today, just allowing these moving averages to catch up. But TMDX looks fantastic. There's just a ton of these that I'm not going to go through them every day. Pens, to me, this is the right side of the base still, actionable 4160. If you don't want to get it, so it's 15.4% above the 21. So it needs to kind of go sideways or pull back to that 40 area for me to get interested. It's a little too hot. IESC, this is in the building maintenance. This is one of the top groups, top stock, top group, busted out last week. I know it's low volume, 143,000 shares average, but you can see these big blue bars, so somebody's buying it. Yeah, I mean, the stock's going higher. You can't help the volume here. It's up 2% today after making this big move of 17% last week. Another one is LMAT. This one could appear on our ready list. It made this move higher, now trading sideways. And if it just allows this moving average to catch up, it's 10% above the 21. Maybe we'll put it on there. Aspen, this is the last one, I promise. This one gapped higher. What did I say? 56%. Yippee-ki-yay. A nice 56% move, then tacked on 5%. And then a couple of days where it just kind of lagged and was only up like 1%. Right here. Oh, 3%, 1%. Today, 1.3. So it's running out of gas. But you can see these moving averages just trading higher. And there's the RS line trading through the moving averages. And that's an actionable sign. In this one, it certainly has been. There's your volume for you, volume folks. Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you for watching. I'll have more information tomorrow morning. Maybe some stocks that are turning up on our ready list. Tomorrow will be Thursday morning. We have some earnings reports to go through. So thank you for watching, except for I lied. I have one more thing in honor of the great Steve Jobs. We got to look at some of these after hours movers, and you saw where NVIDIA was down, and probably because of the ARM report. I didn't see the report. I do know this is an expensive stock, and it looks like it's going to trade below or open below 100 tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see. I never trust after hours, because sometimes it trades off after hours and ramps higher the next day, or it ramps up in after hours and sells off the next day. You can never trust the wild west and after hours action. Anyway, ARM not so good. Trade Desk reported, yeah, okay, it's up 1.5%. So like I said, I haven't seen any of these reports at all. Hood, I don't know how these guys did. Pull back to the 50. It's up nearly 6% after hours. That's good. I did see Airbnb was down significantly, 8%. I'm not sure about their business model. I'm not an Airbnb holder. I think it's a pretty risky stock, just due to all the complications. This is Duolingo down 12%, back to 215. It had a nice run here. It made, this base on base pattern, and then now it's pulled back. Looks like 215 tomorrow will be below the 50. So just gonna have to wait and see. I've got to read the report. I'll have more information in the morning on all of these stocks here. Exact Sciences reported down 13%. That's not good in a downtrend. I don't know. I just, like I said, I'm gonna have to go through these reports. I'll have more information in the morning. Thank you for watching. And at mcstockcharts.com, we never, ever give up.